everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, the channel where you talk, learn, listen, share everything about being prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Not to mention world events that have put us where we're at right now. World events, national events, local events. That's where we're at. We're in the middle of SHTF. And I want to thank everyone for coming here every day, every week, every month, and every year for over 10 years. You guys have been absolutely fabulous. Right now, we're going to do the free for all, the Friday free for all. And then Sunday, I'll be back for Sunday Night Live, the Zoo at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the free for all, which means I won't do a monologue. I'm going to talk about things and we're going to shotgun back and forth. So get your comments down below. And if you're a member of the preparedmind.club, a premium member or a subscription member at subscribestar.com, you can be right here with me Monday through Friday live. Now, Sunday's the Zoo when we all get together. And you guys are fabulous. But during the week, it's just premium subscribers, and it's only $2 a month. And that helps keep the lights on. It helps keep tuna fish and Spam in the pantry. And, of course, deplorable coffee in the old Prepared Mind coffee cup. And I need a big lift. It's one heck of a headache today. Like, such a huge headache. When I got home, I just left my phone in the truck. Forget it. Had enough of that headache called work. And now I'm here with you guys for what I call my passion. And that is helping other people wake up and see what's going on out there. And there's a lot. Now, I want to start off. Ooman will let me know when we've got some questions lined up from you guys. But get this. I read this. Breaking reports that a SEAL team based out of Coronado, California has gone rogue. What do they mean by that? It's gone rogue. Well, they've gone into the LA basin and they're hunting Venezuelan gang members. And so far, they've taken out 50 or more, including gang leadership. Now, I heard that. I read that. And I knew immediately, folks, it's baloney. It's baloney. Because the word breaking wasn't in all caps. They messed up, you see. Anyways, yeah, it was phony. But what was interesting to me, sadly, it's not true. But I know that you and I and all real Americans would support this. And that I think I and many others would assist if possible. If they would allow recon, SEALs, Rangers to go out and take care of these problems. It's like they've always said, we know where the problems are. We know who the problem people are. We know where they're at. We know what they're doing. We know what they look like. We have the names even. But no one's willing to go in there and do anything about it. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because government is deplorable. I'm deplorable. And it is cafefe.com. These guys are awesome. Folks, their coffee is so good. I'll even have some on a Friday night in an effort to get rid of my headache. Anyways, there it is. We got a Cafefe affiliate link. You get 10% off with Prepared 10 for being a Prepared Mind customer. And folks, great coffee, man. Even, like I said, and I think it is making my headache feel a little better. Now, yeah, would you support? We can leave that up if you want, Mr. Uman. If you would, please. Thank you, sir. Would you support our hardcore butt-kicking special forces to go into towns like Aurora, Colorado, South Chicago, the east side of Philly? I don't know what's on the east side of Philly. I'm just making that one up. Down into Compton, Watts, and just clean out the gangs. Now, I'm not talking about anything within the realm of real law and real constitution. I'm just saying, wouldn't we want to see that? Because in a way, it almost feels like it would be vigilante justice, but justice nonetheless. But our government says, no, you're not allowed to do that, Americans. You aren't allowed to do it. you know, will take care of these problems as they go and collect a huge paycheck and actually don't do anything. Interesting stuff, though. But I enjoyed, folks. I enjoyed reading that breaking headline. Breaking headline. But I do have a real breaking headline. Russia has sent one of their very powerful explosive bombs and exploded a power plant in Kharkova, Ukraine. And the explosion, pretty impressive. We're talking a dirt and debris filled mushroom cloud that looked like it was about 1,000 feet tall. Pretty scary business, folks. World War III, we're on the brink. I guess that Biden, camel toes, the Democrat Party, they're good buddies who are behind the curtains, you know, the little old men pulling the levers and turning the knobs. I guess they're more than happy to leave me and you with President Trump and dealing with a world gone mad. That's what it feels like to me. What do you think? What's on your mind? It is the Friday free-for-all, and I really want to know. I gots to know what you're thinking, Anyways, I have tons of subjects, crazy, wild subjects, but there's a couple I'm keenly interested to get your opinions on. I mean, you can ask a question, you can share a comment, your thoughts, whatever you want to do. It is the Friday free-for-all. Ooh, man. How are we doing on questions and behind the scene? Because my next one's a good one. Okay, my next one's a good one. I'll go there. I'm going to go there while Uman is sorting things out. Down in Brazil, get this. Down in Brazil, they have their own SHTF to deal with. Right? The socialist communist regime of Brazil has now indicted their former president, Jair Bolsonaro. And they're saying that it's charges, coup, that they were planning a coup. I'm calling BS on this. This sounds like the insurrection BS that Trump had thrown at him. It's a coup. He was going to do a coup d'etat, right? Communists all think alike. Communists all act alike. So what they want to do is, they've indicted Jair Bolsonaro, and they're going to charge him. They're going to put him in court. And guess who is overseeing this case? The same judge will oversee this case that is the same judge that ruled that X, Twitter, is to be kicked out of Brazil. The guy that looks like Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. That's who it kind of looks like. Guy looks like an evil, twisted version of what a real human should look like. Funny how he can just look at some people and they just look evil. They just look terrible, terrifyingly terrible. Anyways, it's incredible. The left around the world, folks, they're going off the hook. The left in the United States of America are also going off the hook. Before we get to your next question, what you guys want to talk about, before we get there, I just want to warn everybody, and I mean this sincerely. The fight isn't over. Trump needs our support to not make bad decisions. Like Mr. Rogers for the FBI. That is a bad decision. But the war, the fight, even the battle hasn't been won. We haven't even cleared 2024. And the left is losing their minds and going on full attack. Full attack. Right? The threats from the LGBTQ crowd, incredible. But before I get into that sort of stuff and any other topics, I want to give you guys a chance to get on the comment board. Mr. Uman has you lined up a little bit, and we'll start with name redacted. And he says, since the M word was demonized by the Clintons, I say we raise anti-gang QRF response codes. What's the M word? Which M word? I don't know. Name redacted. Put what the M word is in the comment there, and that way Uman can let me know, because I don't know which one. Right? We've got the N word. We've got the F word. We've got too many. It's not a good enough code word, man. Anyways, anti-gang QRF response groups. Since the military, militia. Ah, now I got it. Thank you for helping me. See, I never considered militia a bad word. You didn't, we don't, but guess what? YouTube did, so I know you couldn't type it, name redacted. Thank you very much. Since the militia word was demonized by the Clintons, right? I think that we've done a good job of coming back as patriots. Right? It's hard to say patriots are bad. Well, then why did the government have the Patriot Act? Right? They can't say the word patriot is bad. So then it comes down to me and you claiming to be patriots and lovers of our country. But it's interesting how the government tried assuming ownership of the word patriot right here. Take a listen to this.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated.
They want to make the deep state sound like they're patriots. Well, they're a cadre, all right. Unbelievable. Yeah, we're doing a good job, right? We're forming groups of people that we know, groups of people that we trust, people who have, I don't want to similar, close political belief systems, but basically lovers of America, right? I'm a white guy. You might be a brown guy or a red girl or a whatever color person, right? But if we love America, that's the things that we have in common, our patriotism. In any event, yeah, they want to control the words and the language. Over in Europe right now, they are under a massive anti-free speech attack. In fact, a journalist in Germany pointed to someone in government and said, that person is anti-free speech. So the lady in government wants to have the journalist arrested for saying she is anti-free speech. Well, that action alone makes the case. But I didn't know that just pointing out that someone doesn't like free speech is a crime. Everything is a crime now. If you yell at a police dog in England, you're going to jail. If you call a political bureaucrat or elected official in Germany fat, you're going to jail. Even though the woman in question looked like she was about 1.5 deuces. Very large, right? Very large. Yeah, there's no question she's fat. Hell, I have people look at me and go, John, you're fat. I'm like, really? If I sit on you, you might be able to say that. But in any event, someone looks at me and says, you're tall. I consider that an insult when people say that to me. Well, it depends on how they say it. You're a tall drink of water. I'm like, that just doesn't sound very nice. I take that as an insult, but it's like, so what? Who cares? But the rest of the world, see, it's not about people being offended. Understand me here and follow me here on this. Telling you can't say, someone's gay or someone's tranny fruit or any pejorative names, right? It's not that saying that is the bad thing. They just use, whoa, that offended me. That's the excuse so that they can control your speech and lock your speech, bam, in the garbage can and then punish you. You see, they want to punish you, and that's how they stop you. Just like everything else government does. They want to stop you and control your behavior. So they punish you living your life, expressing yourself, you know, doing the things that human beings do, you know, let's see, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, owning property, traveling, you know, keeping the money you earn. Everything the government wants to take from you is so they can control you more and influence your behavior. Anyways, great topic, great topic. In fact, I mean, these people are dying right now. These socialists around the world and in the United States of America, they're dying because you and I helped Trump win the White House. And he can't bring in people that are rhinos and rats. This Rogers guy that's supposed to be the head of the FBI, he is a rat, and he stabbed Trump in the back 3 or 4 or a dozen times. And I'm wondering why Trump would do that. Why would he give him an opportunity? You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. So I'm wondering why. What's the strategy? I can't believe Trump is that stupid, because he's not. So what's the plan? Kind of like appointing Matt Gaetz to the Attorney General. The Senate completely showed us who they are, who is, who isn't, who is hardcore and won't change their minds. Like, you know, Senator, whatever her name is, Murkowski, and Turtles McConnell. And Turtles McConnell has been given leadership positions on 2 committees in the Senate. And he's going to use his power and authority to do what, folks? To interfere with our agenda of cutting government and freeing America, throwing off the shackles of government control, cutting wasteful spending, ending ridiculous wars, and getting woke garbage out of our jobs, schools, lives, businesses, etc. In any event, you know, we need to support Trump, but around the world, it's driving him nuts, folks. Angela Merkel, she says that she is now filled with sadness because of Trump's victory. And she says Elon Musk he's a huge concern. See, all globalists are evil. All socialists are evil. All globalists are socialists. They try and use nice sounding words. Like, you know, everyone's going to be happy. Well, how are you going to make us all happy? Well, we're going to take all of your property and then you'll be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy. Those are such nice sounding words. Except taking everything of mine and giving it to someone else doesn't make me happy. In fact, their words and deeds are having catastrophic consequences. Right? So when they're allowed to talk and then have power and authority, we end up with illegal immigration. They tax us to death and then waste our money and give it to those who haven't done anything to earn it and don't, what the hell? They're pushing for nuclear war. They're destroying the traditional family, and they want to feed us bugs. Tell me they're not evil, but they're very upset over Musk, and they're extremely upset over Trump, you know, because they're a huge concern, and it fills them with sadness. Unbelievable, folks. These people are knuckleheads. Mr. Uman, who wants to go next? What are we going to talk about? Who's on up? And it's Heidi Ho. And she says, wouldn't it be hilarious? Wouldn't it be hilarious if all these celebrities left the United States of America and ran afoul of foreign people? Well, that has happened. There's that Joker, one of these social media shock guys, tricksters, pranksters. They like to play games on the street and try and scare people, upset people. Right? They're pranksters. I don't know what other names they go by. Anyways, this one ding dong was over in, I think, South Korea, and he was shouting bomb or something like that when he was on a subway. Well, he now faces 20 years in jail for being an idiot. And I've seen other rude and, shall we say, lower IQ people in Japan on subway cars dancing and doing ridiculous stuff on the streets, being street performers. And the Japanese have little signs up. This is not a circus. This is not a zoo, right? Don't act like that. And they're going to end up, yeah, Americans will run afoul of foreign people. If I were to go to Europe, I would have to be quiet. I have a friend who just spent a lot of time in Europe. In fact, I had several friends that have been over to Europe lately. I myself have not been to Europe lately. But I would have to, it's their culture. Now, is their culture Muslim? I won't go visit London because I don't want to have to try and figure out whether I need to put on a burqa or whether I need to, what do I need to do? Run around shouting Aloha snack bar? I just, I wouldn't want to do it. I guess there's other nice places in Europe that I would rather go, but you're not allowed free speech. You're not allowed. So you can't say it. But, in fact, I don't think I can go because I've said so much right here that they'd probably go, oh, yeah, John, glad you made it. Why don't you step on into our Stasi, police department. And the Gestapo head, the chief of police wants to talk to you. Right? I could be charged with crimes for having an opinion, for thinking for myself. This is you and me, this is our American heritage. Telling tyrants, you don't get to tell us what we can think and how to think and what we can say and can't say. I have a funny feeling, Heidi, that these people, these celebrities, the latest one is Anne Heche. No, Ellen DeGeneres, who used to be with Anne Heche, and now she's got some other little blonde ding-dong of a lesbian wife. They left. Good. Ellen DeGeneres doesn't contribute anything to American culture or prosperity. Not a bit. But the only thing she's done right her whole life is play Dory the fish on Finding Nemo. And even that was right there. If the fish wasn't supposed to be retarded, I don't think I could put up with a voice. But Ellen DeGeneres is a P. Diddy party goer. And it would appear, and I've read many people have the opinion, you can put your own opinion in the comments, that these people are leaving America because they're afraid they are going to be indicted, arrested, tried, jury or their peers, right? Pam Bondi, who is now Trump's attorney general pick, is competent. In fact, that's fun. One of the complaints from the mainstream media when discussing this appointment was, well, we can't have this. She's competent. Can you believe that? Anyways, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's America is a very beautiful thing, folks. It is. In fact, in Pennsylvania, a city council president, who I believe is black, compared Trump supporters to the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, and that wearing red hats, red Make America Great Again hats, was like wearing KKK hoods. Dozens of people showed up in their hats to protest this ding-dong of a mayor. And this is what she said. I'm going to tell you, I'm a nice guy. You people are great people. This is what she said, right? About 90%, if not more, of you red hat followers need to be honest with yourselves and acknowledge that whitehood you all own or were raised to own because of your sick family history. Who does she think she is? Who does she think she is? You are a racist. And if you're a person of color, you need to stop hating yourself and find your roots because you are lost. This is funny, right? If a black American thinks for themselves, then you're lost. Now, you can think for yourself and think whatever you want. But if you think for yourself and you're okay with people being free, if you're okay with people being white or Hispanic or Asian, if you're free to think and come to your own conclusion that Republicans are good and low taxes is good, right? And if you're black and you want to wear a hat that says "Make America Great," That's okay too. If you think that, you hate yourself. You want to know who hates themselves is white liberals. They hate themselves and they want white people wiped out too. It's unbelievable. This type of stuff needs to be ended now. Right? Democrats, folks, right now are calling for violence against all of us, but specifically as of late, Representative Nancy Mace, who's a Republican. They're openly going after her. They're openly giving death threats. She has released the phone calls, right? The voice recordings. She's released them. Death threats. They want to threaten death to good, decent, moral Americans, right? And they're also, these sick people, they're telling each other to go get guns for murdering us. You know, why else would they say go get guns? Right? But it is crazy. And Heidi, I think that these celebrities leaving the country are leaving because of their association with these, shall we say, satanic sex cults that are out there, and for their other criminal activities having to do with that and other topics. But I really believe that all of these people are messed up in the head. Anyone that goes to another country from the United States of America risks getting arrested, either because they have free speech and say what they want, which doesn't really hurt anybody at all. Well, it makes people uncomfortable, John. Well, good. I bet freezing because your country doesn't have energy for the winter, I bet that's uncomfortable too. I bet it's uncomfortable walking down the street and wondering if an immigrant is going to stab you with a knife, a machete, or a sword, or just hit you over the head with a hammer. There's lots of ways to feel uncomfortable, but my words don't do it. But still, right? Still, in fact, I wanted to share this with you. A person I know, a professional in the world of business here in America, attacked somebody else at a business organization, no less. They were at a business organization, ran into someone else and physically attacked them. Started punching and swinging and punching and swinging. I'm like, whoa, really? That's what we're going to do now? We're going to attack people? Well, why? Why did this lady attack this guy? And I know them both. Why? Well, because he voted for Trump. So what did she spew? Now, again, this lady is a professional. Professional. Top of the crowd, supposedly, up here. Right? Someone who is a successful business person. They're going to physically assault and attack someone. And it's a woman attacking a guy. Right? That's the facts that were relayed to me. Like, why would she do that? Because she started, I guess, ranting and raving that, you know, Trump's going to lock people up. He's going to lock up all the Democrats, all the LGBTQ crowd, all of the women, right? All of the lies that we keep hearing from people like Sonny and Joy and Whoopi on The View, and Joe and Micah on Morning Joe, right? And everybody on CNN practically, that, you know, these are the bad things that they're buying it, they're believing it. It is some kind of crazy mass psychosis that's out there. In fact, I'm going to continue, and then, man, I'll be ready for the next question here in just a few moments. But I want to give you another taste of what's going on. Why we can't go anywhere else in the world, because you're either going to offend everybody with your ridiculous leftist ideas, or you're going to offend everybody with your ideas of freedom. Seems like Americans are very extreme, but not to outdo England and Ireland and Scotland and France and Belgium and Germany and some other places. Anyways, the complete just jello-brained Joy Reid from MSNBC. In fact, you know what? Elon Musk may buy MSNBC, and I bet he would change it to MXNBC. Wouldn't that be great? MXNBC. I might watch that. Anyways, Joy Reid of MSNBC is now urging Democrats everywhere in the country, all Democrats need to exclude family members at Thanksgiving if they are pro-Trump, Trump supporters, Trump voters, whatever. And this is what she's telling them. She's warning people that Trump supporters in your family may turn you in. Well, if you're a pedophile, yeah, that's being a criminal. If you're a drug dealer, yeah. If you're a nurse or a doctor performing illegal and immoral and unethical surgeries on children, yeah, I'd turn you in because I think that those things are criminal. Now, the part about the doctors and nurses doing that. Anyways, yeah, they're going to turn you in. They think that if you're gay, that's a crime and you're going to get turned in, or if you're a liberal woman who wants an abortion, that we're going to turn you in. No, criminals deserve to be turned in. Anyways, Democrats are continuing to use this political fear porn, and it's actually triggering leftists to attack us, right? I just told you the story about the man. I've met him. I know who he is, and I know who the lady is, and she, right? She freaked out when she learned that he voted for Trump. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And think they're going to be, I guess, arrested or killed or exiled by Trump and Trump's minions, us. So, yeah, exclude pro-Trump family members. Once again, divide and conquer. Well, I get it. I get it. Okay, Mr. Uman, I apologize for rambling on a bit. Back to the show, and we've got Village Idiot on the scene. And he says, what we have here is a failure to communicate. If I could do that with the proper Southern accent, Village Idiot, I would. I believe that's a line from Cool Hand Luke. What we've got here is failure to communicate, right? We do. We've got a lot of failures to communicate. But we're not speaking the same language anymore, right? I use words, and leftists, Democrats, socialists, fruitcake weirdos, they're like, they get offended. I'm like, no, I'm using English words. Like, that over there is a woman. Oh, yeah, well, you can't say that. No, why not? That's a woman. I can look at a guy pretending to be a woman and say, that's a guy. And, of course, point and laugh. And you can't say that, right? So just using the English language becomes offensive to them. And then when they use language, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm a cisgendered tradcon. Right? They use all kinds of expressions to describe us. And I loved it when they called us normies. You normies, you guys are crazy. It's like, well, doesn't normie stand for normal? How can being normal be bad? How can being normal be radical and crazy? Are you saying that normal people are radical? Or you just... Anyways, these people are nuts. They really are nuts. Oh, good golly. Oops. Chin Music says, you are tall. You had to duck under that awning when we walked into the restaurant. Am I a tall drink of water, Chin Music? I tell you, man. You're tall, you're big, you're scary, you're a giant. So, nice observation, right? Why should we care? Well, they care about everything. Anything, everything. They're waiting to be offended. 1 second. I got the deplorable coffee too close to my lips there. I just had to get another drink, right? Yeah, it's not about your words actually being offensive or mine. It's about telling me I can't talk. It's about telling me you can't think for yourself. You're not allowed to think for yourself. You shouldn't want to think for yourself. You can't use the words you want. You can't express yourself how you want. You're not allowed. You're only allowed to use the words that the government and the special interest groups say, and you're not allowed to think about something unless they say you're allowed to think about it. And then share your opinion as long as it agrees with them. So it's not about really being offensive. Because one of the most offensive things I've ever seen is rainbow dildo butt plug monkey. That's offensive. Oh gosh. I mean, that's a real fruitcake person that wanted to go read books to children in public. Okay. Anyways, Chin Music, thank you very much. I am tall, doggone it, and I accept that charge. Anyways, craziness. Let's do this. I haven't done this in quite a while. We haven't done one, and it's not over. I want you to. That's right. I want you to take a wild guess. And I want to thank Darcy T for sending this to me. And what she let us know is that a basketball player named Caden Francis, 18-year-old basketball player, collapses and dies on campus. Super athlete, super young person, just drops dead suddenly. It's not over, folks. It's not. It's not. I mean, we have people dying all the time now. Let me just read this to you, and then we'll talk about it really briefly, and then move on to more of your stuff. A producer, talent agent. His name was Cal Boyington, age 53, 1 year younger than me, dies of heart failure. Now, this person's not young, as Darcy points out, but what happened to people having a heart attack and living? Right now, they show up, they got heart defibrillators, right? They instantly inject you with blood thinners so that your heart can get blood and then pump it around. All of these things. Why are people dying in their 30s, 40s, and 50s of heart attacks, and 60s? They shouldn't be, right? I'd play the music for you, Darcy. Bump, 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 bump. Another one bites the dust. But I can't play that. I'll probably get in trouble just for singing a couple of songs there, right? Must give credit to Queen. All right, Mr. Uman. We've got about 20 minutes to go. I bet there's more things to discuss. And, of course, we have Charlanator out there. And she affirms that Trump has learned his lesson the last time. This time he's appointing people he knows he can trust. Right. This one Rogers fella that he wants to put in charge of the FBI. I think there's a rope-a-dope in this somewhere. There has to be, because how could he not have learned his lesson? I really think he knows the game now. And he's playing nice up front. He's not having to say, I'm going to lock you up. He's letting other people say that, and they're going to do it. I'm really looking forward every day. You know, it's almost like counting down to Christmas. In fact, there's a meme out there. A man leaning over the calendar and marking things out, and his wife says, oh, counting down for Christmas? He says, nope, counting down to January 20th. You know, what I want to do is get past all of this preliminary baloney. Oh, by the way, I think they're still counting votes in California. There needs to be a lot of arrests. A lot of arrests. We know who works in every district. We know who counts ballots. We know who the judges are. We know everything. We know who the county commissioners are, county supervisors, whoever that. We know who the election boards are. We know who all of this is. You just go in there and you get names and you clean house. They need to be arrested. Anyways, yes, as far as appointing people, he needs to hire people who he can trust. Who can he trust? Now, Pam Bondi, B-O-N-D-I, Pam Bond. No, Bondi. Pam Bondi was with him during the first administration, and she's from Florida and was an attorney general there. And she stood by him after the Democrats stole the election, allegedly, back in 2020. Right? She stood by him. She didn't abandon him. And apparently there's going to be some big things coming out. I guess there's going to be some announcements by Rudy Giuliani, Judge Merchan. He's dropped all the charges. I think they're dropping all charges in all cases. I haven't confirmed that, so don't take that to the bank. But it looks like it looks like the left knows that they're in trouble. They're on the run. They're against the ropes, but they're not done fighting, right? Animals are dangerous. Animals are extremely dangerous when they're put in a corner and they've got nowhere to run. Its claws out, its fangs out. That's where the Democrats feel like they're going. I think that's why even professionals are starting to literally, viciously attack people verbally and then literally physically assaulting people, like these Democrats that are killing family members, their spouses and kids, killing their parents, killing others in their lives. It's pretty crazy, folks. It really is crazy time. I think they're handing out crazy pills instead of Xanaxes. Anyways, I really hope, Charlanator, you are 100% right, because I can't see it any other way. I can't see Trump actually thinking that people that don't like him all of a sudden are going to see the light. Now, J.D. Vance, right, at one point he was critical of Trump, and I think he had a heart-to-heart with Trump and a sit-down and a talk, and he learned his lesson. I'm sure he apologized. He stated publicly that he was wrong. How many times do we hear a politician saying that? You know what? I was wrong. Holy cow, accountability, responsibility. Woo! Don't see that and hear that much from politicians. Maybe this Mr. Rogers was just that. But then there's this thing about Kash Patel is still out there behind the scenes. Where are they going to put him? Someone said assistant director to the FBI. What about Sebastian Gorka? What about all of the other really good, hardcore Republicans who need some payback for the unlawful, meaning criminal behavior, not retribution, not vengeance, but right, criminals get what they deserve. How about Carrie Lake? Right? How about Carrie Lake? 4 Senate seats have been stolen by the Democrats by counting votes for days and days and days after. Number one, they need to go in and do the investigation, prove that it was unlawfully done, and then unseat those people. If you are in the Senate and you have been sworn in as a senator, but it turns out that people were cheating and gave you the victory, you're done. You're out. You are not legitimate. But I understand the investigations have to come. They have to have their evidence in place. It has to be thorough. I sure hope that Laura Trump and the Republican attorneys are doing just that, subpoenaing records. Subpoenaing records, or having kept records as they go, because these cities and states, they put out numbers on a daily basis. Okay, this is where we're at now. 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 And these Republicans were way ahead. And then once the polls closed and the counting was done, and they're like, no, we're going to keep counting. Once they proved, one, they cheated in the count, and that they did it for days and days and days and days, and they could see how the Republican, is barely going up, but the Democrats like, passes. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me. Pretty obvious to me. Let's hope for the best, folks. That's the best we can do. Hope for the best and have lots of ammunition. Can I say that, Oliver? Can I say that? Make sure you have lots of ammo. Yes, make sure you have lots of ammo. Okay, who's up next? And we've got Village Idiot. He says Bondi is a big red flag law girl. I don't like red flag law. I think red flag laws are bad because they can be abused. And I would like to make sure and see that she isn't anti-Second Amendment. Florida does have red flag laws. A lot of places do. A lot of places do. And just because someone makes a complaint is not a crime. What are you complaining about? Well, I just don't like that person. I think they're dangerous. Yeah, whatever they come up with. Yeah, big red flag. Plus, the red flag laws are unconstitutional. I think that needs to go to the Supreme Court and be tried out. It totally eliminates the concept of due process, depriving a person of property or rights without a criminal offense. The government has no authority to strip us of our rights, our property, our money, because someone made a complaint, because someone else was afraid, because someone was offended, right? I'm a big proponent of leave me the hell alone. I do not like red flag laws. Anyways, Village Idiot, I appreciate you bringing that up. And again, I'll be watching all of these people. You'll be watching all of these people. And we need to remember the power that we have by calling, texting, messaging all of these senators, these bureaucrats up in Washington, D.C., Congress people, congressmen, they all need to be messaged constantly and told, leave us alone and police the criminal element in Washington, D.C. And so I'm thinking Bondi, she may be a red flag law type person. Well, you're not in Florida now there, sweetheart. Sweetheart, you're going to take care of Washington, D.C. There's plenty of criminals in D.C. to worry about. And they usually have this word before their name. Senator, representative, right? Yeah, that's how that works. Bureaucrat, your honor, right? All of these government people, those are your criminals that she needs to go after. Right? She's in a different league now. And you can leave me and my rights alone. Depriving me of rights? Right. The Second Amendment, by the way, says, shall not be infringed. If I could put up just one thing for the Second Amendment, I think they should amend the Second Amendment with a constitutional amendment that says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And any government official that attempts to, by legislation or fiat, deprive us of any rights of self-defense shall be put to death. That'll stop them, won't it? Shall be put to death by the person they tried defrauding of their rights or anyone they assigned to do it for them. The death sentence for violating rights if you're a government official. Now, if I were to violate your rights, if I were to come to your house and take your property or take your guns or take your money or destroy your property, you could sue me civilly. Now just leave the criminal stuff out, right? You could sue me civilly. Why can't we sue government officials? Civilly, personally, we ought to be able to. This qualified immunity shit needs to end. I think that's the first time I cussed today was S-H-I-T just now. I figured that I would keep my tone calm today. I tell you what. All right, folks, we're just over 10 minutes left, and I noticed that no one's brought this up. Today is November 22nd of 2024. Back on, Boo Man says, hey, today is my son Brandon's birthday. Never forget sitting in the hospital watching all the Kennedy assassination anniversary footage. Happy birthday, son. Happy birthday, Brandon. You evil Knievel dude, you. He's awesome. I got this picture of his son Brandon in an Evel Knievel outfit. Dude looks good, man. Anyways, wearing the white leathers with flared jeans and the cape, looking good. Anyways, man, assassination. November 22nd, 1963. On that day, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, was publicly executed by the CIA, FBI, Secret Service, Dallas Police Department, Lyndon Baines Johnson's LBJ. Did I say LGB? Silly me. Yeah, they're a little bit violent too. But LBJ and his cohorts, they killed the president, broad daylight. Never forget, folks. Nobody is so powerful that they won't take you out. I wouldn't be surprised one day if I'm just walking down the street and my head explodes. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. I'd be dead. But if that happened to you or anyone else, I wouldn't be surprised by it. I would be pissed. I'd be disgusted. I'd be shocked. But that's how the government operates. They kill people they don't like when you become too much of a threat. And if I may remind you, President Donald J. Trump, Donald John Trump, they did take a shot at his head. They did put a, shall we say, supersonic piece of lead right through his ear. Right through his ear. Missed his cranium, pierced his ear. President Trump. They tried shooting him. Actually, they did shoot him. They tried killing and assassinating President Ronald Reagan. Hit him right in the chest. Miraculously, Ronald Reagan survived. John F. Kennedy, on the other hand, he was in a turkey shoot, folks. It wasn't shooting fish in a barrel, but it was a turkey shoot. They shot him from behind, from the side, and even from an angle down low, out of a storm drain gutter. That's where the, in my opinion, the killer headshot came. People are still saying that Jim Greer, the driver of the limousine, was the guy who shot him. The Zapruder film is a fraud. If you watch enough information on it, you discover that it's been heavily edited, and you can see it. There's so many ways to see it once you know what to look for. But they did a great job of taking that film and changing it and giving it to the public eventually, and then just basically upsetting people with back and to the left. They killed him. He didn't stand a chance, folks. That is some of the worst shooting I have ever seen or heard about in my life. Because apparently there were at least 4 assassins that were shooting at him. And it sounded like firecrackers going off. One literally right from behind. I think that's the guy that got Kennedy in the back between the shoulder blades. He got shot through the neck and the front, separate shot. Connolly got hit through the ribs, through the wrist, and in the leg. And let's see, there's a bullet hit the frame, a bullet hit the ground and ricocheted into James Tague down at the tunnel or the overpass. There are bullets that went into the grass. They got skipped off the ground. Had to have been at least 14 shots taken. And then, of course, the killer headshot at the very end. Yep, this is an anniversary date of JFK being shot and assassinated very publicly. And the evidence is overwhelming that the CIA, the Secret Service, and the FBI were involved. Maybe the Dallas Police Department didn't know what they were getting into. They just followed instructions. But crazy business, folks. Crazy business. And wow. Man, what do we want to do next year as we move on forward? And we got Mikey G. And he says, Elon is Alex Jones's white knight, reportedly. I'd like to know what you mean by Alex Jones's white knight, because a white knight typically is a protector, someone who's going to protect you, reportedly. I'm curious what's going on behind the scenes with AJ, with Elon Musk, with MXNBC, with Twitter, with Truth Social, Trump's version of Twitter. Apparently this Blue Sky or whatever this left-wing social media thing is, it's supposed to replace X. It's so bad that even liberals that go over to it are ratting on each other and kicking each other out. But it's just a massive minor attracted person and pedophile hangout, as well as trannies and drag queens and other really despicable left-wing types that are famous for, of course, wanting children to sit on their laps and do other nasty, awful things. Anyways, Elon Musk is proving to be quite a factor in American social life, American politics, American science, American automobiles, and this Doge, folks, the Department of Government Efficiency. I really hope it has teeth. Like, it's not like he's going to make recommendations out of Doge, and the president's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, if they make a recommendation and they've got the facts, do it. This idea of removing 20, 30, 50% of government bureaucracies is absolutely fabulous. There's a lot of complaints, though, that if we stop spending all this money as the federal government, that the economy will suffer because they won't be out there spending all this money. And I'm thinking, okay, what do they spend the money on? Putting hamsters on crack cocaine and seeing if they can drive mobile automobiles, through a maze. Well, that money could be better spent in actual productive areas of the country rather than making a laboratory and paying some ridiculous scientist 6 figures, 7 figures to conduct experiments that don't benefit anyone. Period. Long-term, short-term, nothing. And they just take the money and they buy themselves a house and then sit on it. Yay, I'm rich now because I checked out and tried to figure out, right, what happens when I put various animals on drugs. Wow. Doge needs to do a good job. There's so much of the government, right? We just wipe away all of the jobs. And if I remember correctly, when President Biden took office, day one, he said 10,000 jobs. Keystone Pipeline, 10,000 jobs lost. Entire communities that were being supported by the work that was being done, building the pipeline, construction companies, suppliers, right? Entire towns, houses, restaurants, stores, all being supported by building this pipeline, which has a positive benefit to the country, bringing down energy, less expensive energy, making sure we're energy independent, energy secure. All those things that money spent on that branches out and helps all of America. Instead, fuel prices shot up. Those people all got wiped out, and President Biden said, learn to code. Okay, all of you federal workers that are going to lose your jobs, here's my advice. Learn to code and be productive. There we go. Mr. Uman, do we have one more? I know we've got just under 2 minutes to go on this Friday, free for all. And it's name redacted. He says, this is all the pregame show, John. The Super Bowl is yet to come. Oh, what an interesting way to describe it. Thank you, name redacted. Yeah, you're correct. You are correct. This is the warm-ups, the highlights, the preliminary actions. We haven't seen the stupid yet. People out there, including Alex Jones, are calling for false flags to occur in America and Europe. That on January 20th, or before, something bad needs to happen. It can happen after. The violence on the streets, all of these things that I've been predicting, and they haven't happened. We have not had a summer of 2020 style screw up, and that's great. I would rather be wrong about that than to not warn anyone and have bad things happen. And the people go, John, why didn't you tell us, man? Why didn't you tell us? We didn't know this was going to happen. We didn't think it could happen because you didn't say anything. Now, I know you guys aren't that way, but the Democrats are. Anyone who took the Jim Jones juice, they're now saying that you, and I mean all of you who did not take the Jim Jones juice, you're bad because you didn't do enough to stop them from taking it. And now they're having vaccine injuries, vaccine deaths, vaccine diseases, and they're very upset because you didn't stop them, even though they were threatening us, arresting us, firing us, kicking us out of stores for rejecting all of their woke crap. All right. I'm going to end the show on this there, Mr. Uman. Sonny Hostin of The View has now been required for a third time to give a statement of correction regarding Matt Gaetz and others. What a ding-dong. These people are an embarrassment to themselves and to the human race. Anyways, folks, chance favors the prepared mind. I've got a headache prepared mind really bad. What I'm going to do is turn you guys loose. And I'll see you Sunday night live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pay attention this weekend, folks. I expect some big things to happen over in the Ukraine and Russia war, which could expand into Poland and other NATO bases, or we could see Ukraine viciously go after Russia and Moscow. It's going to be one heck of a poop show. You guys be cool, Semper Fi, and God bless America. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a prepper? That's right. Get your prepared mind merch. I'll see you guys Sunday.